Yeah, we need this in my garage. For more on the growing role of vocational training, we welcome our special guest, Victor Wang. He's the Professor of Educational Leadership and Research Methodology at the Florida Atlantic University. He has also authored many books about vocational training and leadership, and several of them have become university textbooks. Victor joins us live from Florida. Good to see you, Professor. Let's talk about this vocational training, because I think for a lot in our audience, it sounds like these are very specific jobs that students, or adult students, I should say, are preparing for. What is the definition of vocational today?
Sure. First of all, it's my honor to be here, Phil, and to talk with over 1 billion viewers worldwide. Actually, vocational education is defined as for all its practical purposes, education for work. But the name vocational education was already changed into career and technical education now, especially in the United States, in North America. But the name vocational education is still being used in some other countries like Australia and China.
So, okay, so vocational, we're showing some video here, by the way. I don't know if you can see this or not, but there's people working on metals and people working in the healthcare industry. It now encompasses so many different career paths. Which industries are the hot ones that people are going into, and which specific jobs are students going into today?
Sure. Actually, in vocational education, we talk about 8 different fields, and they are agriculture education, industrial education, business education, health occupations education, family consumer science education, technology education, technical education, and vocational guidance. And in some other states like California, scholars may call these 8 different fields 15 industry sectors. And students get jobs, gainful employment in all these fields. And actually, students get jobs in every field in our society. And
Chris,
the number one goal...
Chris was talking about earlier about a lot of the women, for example, in the construction industry. I mean, look, I mean, there's basically no women in construction. There's only 3%. I mean, that's a tiny fraction. And I'm wondering, when you talk about vocational training, for these schools around the country, what's the general split between men and women? Is it roughly 50-50?
Used to be men were enrolled in these vocational education training programs, and now more women are enrolled in these vocational education programs. And I can cite the Manpower Development and Training Act issued in 1962. And these people were supposed to enroll in vocational education programs, and they were like the unemployed, the underemployed, part-time workers, workers with skills that are obsolete, families with less than $1,200 as net family income, and the ages that range from 16 to 22. But I taught in California in one of the largest vocational training programs on the West Coast for 9 years. And my teaching shows that more women are enrolled in vocational education programs, and their ages range from 25 to 75.
Professor, I want to point out something. I mean, for those that are watching, I mean, these jobs that you're seeing, some of the pictures are, you know, people working on cars, people working on wood. I mean, these are not sexy jobs. This isn't like working at Facebook and doing a bunch of tweeting and posting on social media. I mean, these jobs they're tough jobs. And one of the concerns that a lot of people have come on the show and say there's not enough people going into these careers because they think the career is boring or it's too hard or it's too difficult. How do we get more people interested in these particular fields, not just in the United States, but around the world? Because someday you and I are going to get old and we're going to need people to help fix things in the bathroom and fix stuff, and there's not enough of those folks.
Well, it has to do with the number one objective in vocational education, and that is to meet the manpower needs of society. And on the one hand, we do need professors, doctors, and lawyers. On the other hand, we need plumbers and technicians and welders, construction workers, and workers of all kinds. And You know, think about, you know, how many times do we need a plumber? You know, I call a plumber, you know, for help in, you know, once in 2 months.
All right.
And regarding how to motivate these people to enter the vocational education field, you know, I think, you know, we need to enlighten these potential workers with the goals of vocational training.
Professor,
in the field.
Professor, I apologize, we're out of time. Good words, though. Thank you very much for your time on this important topic.